5 reasons to share a first look with each other on your wedding day. Why do I think a first look is important? I really think a first look is important because first of all, it's sharing that time with each other at the beginning of the day that you actually might not get a lot of time just for yourselves throughout the rest of your wedding day because things just get crazy and go really, really fast. And so I really think that like sharing that moment where like you get to see each other and just kind of like really take in like each other's outfits and what you're wearing and just be like, oh my gosh, we're here, it's our wedding day, like this is so exciting. I really feel like that time is something that if you don't do it, you could end up regretting it. Now, not everyone, but I've never heard anyone say that they regretted doing a first look, but I feel like I have heard people say that they regretted not doing a first look because they really didn't get that one-on-one time with each other that they really wish they had done. Now, Daniel and I chose to not do a first look on our wedding day. Mainly, I didn't really think about first look that much when we got married. When we got married, I wasn't really much into the wedding space at first. So it really wasn't like a super big important thing on my mind, mostly because I had never realized the pros and cons of it, basically. I actually don't really think there's any cons of it, but really the most important reason I think to do a first look is to really just have that time with each other near the beginning of your wedding day once you're all ready and your photographer and videographer, can take photos and videos of those first moments of you seeing each other. I really think you're gonna look back on those moments and just really cherish them and honestly just have fun looking back at them. If we had done a first look and I had those photos and videos to look back on, I feel like I would look at them a lot because it would remind me of how we felt on our wedding day and just that young love and that excitement for this journey we're entering into together. And I really think that would have been a really fun sweet time for us. But I don't regret not doing a first look. Daniel still wanted to see me for the first time walking down the aisle, which is what a lot of people want. But I just really think that every couple should really just think about, will I regret not doing a first look? I really don't think I've ever had, a bride and groom regret doing a first look. I think that they all think it's such a fun, sweet time to just be with each other, in that moment before everyone else, sees bride walking down the aisle, things like that. The second reason is that you'll have extra romantic portrait time if you choose to do a first look, because when you do this, you have romantic portraits with each other before the ceremony, but then you'll also have romantic portraits with each other after the ceremony, which I actually call newlywed portrait time. I kind of like to distinguish all these times. And then you can even have a third portrait time, which would be golden hour portraits if it's not a cloudy day and it's sunny and bright and golden hour actually works, and if that's something the couple really wants to do. So I think that doing a first look allows you to have 3 portrait times. So again, the first look portrait time, before the ceremony, and then newlywed portraits after the ceremony, and then golden hour portraits a little bit before golden hour during it, I think that's a huge benefit to it, especially because number 3, it allows you to have backup portrait time. What I mean by that is if it rains on your wedding day, let's say that so you did your first look, you got portraits. Let's say that it started raining at the end of your ceremony. This actually happened to one of our Virginia couples, and they had done a first look, and we had done a whole bunch of portraits for them before their ceremony, which is great. We actually did all their bridal party portraits, all their family formals, and all their first look romantic portraits, literally before the ceremony, which ended up being amazing because about halfway through their ceremony, it literally started raining, and their ceremony was outside. And we kept shooting. It was actually, now I look back on it, it's such a fun memory because this couple was they just loved each other so much and were just so ready to get married that the rain didn't bother them. It was almost kind of hilarious looking back on it and just how focused on each other and just how in love they were. The rain, it was oh, that's funny, it's raining, haha. Because we were able to get all the portraits done beforehand, we didn't have to do any more portraits after the ceremony, which was crazy different than most weddings, but thankfully we planned their timeline in a way that it basically saved the day, because of the rain. And so that was a really good decision on this couple's part and me helping them walk through that process. And so, that's a situation in which rain on the wedding day, doing a first look can actually keep you, help you to actually get portraits. Later on in their wedding day, we were able to step outside again for golden hour, which we got some stunning golden hour portraits. I guess I can pop a few up on the screen here for you to see. Yeah, so that's just one reason that doing a first look can save your wedding day. Reason number 4, I kind of already talked about this, but it really just allows for more portrait time. I'm always going to encourage more portrait time. on your wedding day, because I think the photos of you two are really like, they're the photos you're probably gonna like hang on your wall and like really like look back at every day and really like appreciate. I'm not saying that like photos with, you know, other people and guests are not important. I think they are really important. I also think that it really depends on what you two value. And so like we obviously work with our couples and we ask them like, okay, like what's most important to you on your wedding day? Let's focus on those 3 things that are most important to you, so that you're like, you know, we want you to be happy and we want to serve you well. So we're going to work with our couples and make sure we're doing exactly what they want, obviously. But more portrait time is always good in my book. Reason number 5, which is kind of a fun reason. So doing a first look on your wedding day also allows for multiple photo locations. We found that if the only portrait time we have with our couples on wedding day is newlywed portrait time, which is right after the ceremony for about 30 minutes, well, technically it's 20 minutes of family formals, then 10 minutes of bridal party, and then 30 minutes of newlywed portraits. That's how we structure it after the ceremony. Technically, like, it's really hard to go to multiple locations to take portraits if you only have 1 portrait time. So if you have 3 portrait times for the day, that means that you could basically go to like probably like at least 3, if not 3 to 5 different spots around the wedding venue location to get like, you know, cool photos. Obviously, like, I'm gonna work with you and I'm gonna find the best spots lighting wise, because I am a natural light and area wedding photographer, but I still like to experiment with like, you know, like different backgrounds, you know, different. I have this thing where I like to like have photos of like trees, like framing couples. It's just like, I find it like so artsy and like fun. I do work with you on like, I asked you like, oh, do you want like more close-ups, medium shots, wide shots, epic shots, you know, like what do you really love? And then I try to incorporate a mixture of what they say they really want, you know, within the final gallery for them. But I really do feel like my creative freedom thrives when we're able to like walk around and like find unique spots. And even if like the couple suggests a spot, like that's kind of fun, because sometimes it's literally a spot that I've never like, I didn't think about going there, like it just wasn't in my head. And this actually happened at an engagement session at Oakland's Mansion in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And Adam, he was like, oh, like let's go, why don't we go over there? Like that's a cool spot. And so we went over here and we, you know, took some photos of the spot, but then I saw this other cool spot. It's like, oh, what if we stand right here with like the mansion in the background? We took this photo and it was just, oh, it made me so happy. It was just like gorgeous and it just looked stunning in it. And I was like, oh, this is it. I probably just popped that photo up there for you to see. But that was Adam and Sarah. They're such a sweet, loving couple and they're getting married in May. It's so exciting. Multiple portrait locations is always a good idea on your wedding day, and you know, backup plans in case of rain, things like that. And really just like sharing that moment with each other on your wedding day and being able to look back on the photos and videos of those first few moments with you. Because I'm telling you, like, marriage is hard sometimes. Sometimes you get into like a little like disagreement, and if you go back and look at those memories on your wedding day after having a disagreement, your disagreement might not, like, it might not be so much of a big deal anymore, to be honest. Like, I feel like it would put you back into perspective of like, no, like, we really love and care for each other. And so being able to look back at those moments, I feel like it's just so important for your marriage long term. I feel like it just helps you to remember, like, you know, why you're married, the reason why you're married, and just like how you're supposed to love each other and be there for each other. And I think that those first few moments with each other on your wedding day, I think that will help you to remind you about that, like, for years to come. So I hope this was helpful to you as you're deciding whether or not you're going to share a first look on your wedding day. Comment if you're going to do a first look or if you decide not to do a first look. I'm honestly curious to see, like, you know, like how many of you like have decided to do a first look or not, and also like your reasoning behind it. Because like, I'm never gonna force anyone to do it, but I am going to encourage you to really think about it and think what you want to have to remember long term, to like remember on and everything like that. So this is why we created this video, because we really want to just give you a moment, you two, to just think about what you two really want to do for your wedding day. We hope this video helped you today. Please subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more wedding day tips, and like this video as it helps boost the YouTube algorithm, which still learning that, but that's okay. And then also, if you're also a bride who's like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what details to pack in my wedding day box, wedding day detail box, then I have created a video that breaks down what to put in your wedding day detail box, so that when your photographer arrives on your wedding day, you have all your details in that box to give to them, and it'll just make the whole day so much smoother and faster, and you're gonna get amazing detail photos. So that video is next, and you can watch it right up there.